Thank you for joining. So the beginning part of the channel message is that we live surrounded by a sea of energy, and Spirit was comparing the sea of energy to the actual ocean, and that's why emotions are associated with water. And so they were basically comparing the sea of ocean to the actual water that we existed in Atlantis. And so the emotions really exist within the energy surrounding us, which I'm going to have to dive a little bit deeper into, because it's like basically what it sounds like is like collective energy, literally. And sounds like is like collective energy, literally. And so there's different types of energy. There's high vibrational, low vibrational, um and I guess there's something kind of in the middle of that. And Spirit is basically saying that because the energy is outside of you, that carries emotions, because Spirit, they don't concern themselves with emotions. Thank you for the follow. Spirit doesn't concern themselves with emotions, so the energy within you is not where the emotions are coming from. It's the energy outside of you. And so you can choose what energy to be in, literally. So the energy you choose to be in has more to do with the energy outside of you. And that's why that people say you become the sum total of the people you surround yourself with. And so, yeah, like all that emotion and all that is outside of you, and you determine like what your energy encounters by the types of people you surround yourself with, the places that you go, um just the things that you do on a daily basis, the thoughts that you think on a daily basis. And I know that conceptually, maybe scientifically, thoughts are considered to live within the body, but they do not. Consciousness is constantly being downloaded into your brain. It does not exist within a human vessel. It just doesn't. I mean, your energy, the energy that's connected to source, of course, exists in your human vessel, but the consciousness is coming from outside of ourselves. So we have a physical brain. The physical brain has certain functionalities, but the actual consciousness is coming from outside of us. Loved by Yeshua, did you want to pay for a reading? Because I do pay readings. A mini is 11.11. A regular reading is 22.22, and then extended is 33.33. And I'm not ignoring you, Melissa. I think I saw you earlier. Oh, okay. That's the same person. Okay. Excuse me. But yeah, so that's why water is associated with emotions in the tarot, however you want to say it. And so now they're talking about like Jesus drinking from the cup. And I feel like they're saying that he was reading the energy. So like there was water in the cup, but he was reading energy. Wow. He was reading energy from the cup, from the water in the cup. So that gives like the cups way deeper meaning, because if we're comparing the energy around us to like a sea of energy, so comparing it to a body of water, and him drinking the water was a way for him to read the energy of everyone in his life. And so when you start to see everyone in your life, you start to actually read their energy and you can actually see them for who they truly are, that is the equivalent of drinking from the Holy Grail. Ooh, shucks. Okay, calm down, both of y'all. So I'm not sure how this is about to play out. No, down, down, down. So now Spirit is going into talking about soul contracts. Get down. Get get down. Hey, get down. Both of y'all. Get down. Get down. All right, so Spirit is saying that they're about to surprise you and keep your abundance quiet because the surprise is with the abundance. Um, and Spirit is saying you make us very happy. There is a divine union in your soul contract. And there's something going on about a bad built Latina. Oh my god. I feel like this person is someone who claims to be a spiritualist and doing still trying to do spell work on your divine union. So this is someone that you may have met at a previous time, may have gotten readings from this person, but then sever ties because you realize that you were this person's walking karma. Because what happens is with walking karma, you encounter people very intentionally. There is nothing by chance or happenstance when you are walking karma, because you have specific assignments for specific people at a specific time. And that's when you encounter the person when you're supposed to encounter them. And so, this this so-called spiritualist, which is wild to me because this so-called spiritualist doesn't know that they're doing spell work on a divine being. It's like it's given the energy that this person was unhappy with their relationship and they did a reading for you and saw how amazing your relationship was getting ready to be, your divine union. And because what happens is like this person is given the energy of someone who promotes and does love spells. So, Spirit was talking to me previously about that because not only is it not ethical because you're trying to manipulate somebody else's free will, but it's also like you're playing games with who you should actually be with because if you're doing spell work on someone and you think that you got them through spell work, it's gonna mess with you, and then you don't like the person. It's really probably, I'm feeling like it's really messes with these people more than they want to admit. So it's kind of like you doing spell work is your karma because you got to deal with somebody that you don't even like. But because you believe that the spell work is what got you in this relationship, and you put this person in a honey jar and said all these things and committed yourself to this person for a lifetime, um, when that person acts a damn fool and they start showing that person how they really are, and then they pissed off because they did the damn love spell to get them, that's a long explanation, but that's the energy that is giving. It's giving that this person got her partner through doing love spells and was unhappy with this person and then saw into your soul contract, saw this amazing divine union that she wished she had. And so, ever since that reading, this person has been trying to come against your divine union. And the irony of this being someone who does love spells, like you're going to spend that much time and energy trying to stop a divine union. And y'all, I'm not trying to be funny, but when you hear the term divine union, that should send off all kinds of bells and whistles. Like that relationship is off limits. Okay? When the word divine is in front of anything, you better know that that is an unbreakable union. It involves a soul contract. It probably involves prophecies and all kinds of other I'm gonna say shit, but it's not shit. And so when you are messing with a divine union that is unbreakable, unshakable, is inevitable, and it is part of the divine's plan, it's never going to end well. Hey, Danny girl, how you doing? Yeah, it's not gonna end well. It's just not. And so let's see what else Spirit has to say. He said, "What am I talking about tonight?" Oh, that's good. I'm glad you could. So initially I was talking about that emotions are really outside of us. Spirit was telling me that the emotions, like we live in a sea of emotions. So we're basically the emotions that we take on and feel is based on what emotional frequency we get on. That is what I'm hearing. So You can choose to be, on the high vibrational, mid vibrational, low vibrational frequency of energies. But so you're basically like at whatever range you decide to be at, you're basically connecting to the collective energy in that energy category, if you will. Energy, emotional energy category. But the cards that have come out are talking about keep your abundance quiet. Spirit is about to surprise you. You make spirit very happy. You have a soul contract that involves a divine union. And you had to be walking karma on this Latina spirit said bad built spiritualist who specializes in love spells but is trying to come against your divine union, which is bananas. Absolutely bananas. Because when you have a when you're a part of a divine union, that is for a very specific mission and purpose. And it is not to be messed with. Spirit said, this surprise is coming in. Well, surprise, unlimited wealth. That's what I'm talking about. Surprise. Yeah, because you've been trusting the divine. Yes, the divine is just waiting and willing and ready to bless people. Okay. So this person doing spell work, jealousy, ego, competition. And I put jealousy, ego, and competition will have people do strange things. Yeah. It'll have you doing some very strange things. Yeah, Spirit is saying your abundance is coming in because you balance your masculine and feminine within. And that's what's bringing this divine union together. Spirit said, we're blessing you because you are grateful for what you have. You thank Spirit when good things happen to you. And Spirit is saying, we're blessing you because you don't look like what you've been through. Not at all. And not looking like what you've been through also includes how you treat people. Because if you are an ugly person and you display ugliness, I guess that's confirmation. Spirit said you are transforming. Okay, Spirit. I think that's what I was just saying. Kind of, sort of. Like, basically, you are transforming, and then the card came up. It's because you set proper boundaries. See, when you set proper boundaries, you close cycles. And when you close cycles, Spirit can let it flow. Everything about you is just fly. I believe that's what your divine counterpart is saying about you. Spirit said, you know who you are. They are extremely proud of you for just being a good human being. Your inner child is thriving, and that's what happens when you do the work. We could be dealing with an air sign here for the divine union. You said, my peoples, I was told they're funny. Okay. Yeah, Spirit said, you about to have heaven on earth, boo. Go on and get ready. Hey, stop. Let him play with the toy. Let her play with the toy. Look, this is your moment. The wait is over. I don't know about y'all, but I've been like, come on, Spirit. Like, what we doing? What we doing? And Spirit said, your testimony heals the world. You are worthy of the best life has to offer. Your spirit team is super duper proud of you, honored for you to represent them. Just keep it simple. I'm here and get your rest. Pay them people zero attention. You see from the highest perspective. So I'm talking to some very powerful spiritualists. What was that? Your intuition is at the highest levels of consciousness. I've been talking about this divine union for a minute. Spirit just wants to keep talking about it. And right now, I'm just like, I don't even want to hear it. But Spirit wants to talk about it. That's wild, though, that people that don't even really know you would be coming against your divine union because of what Spirit showed them. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like, why, after all this time, why are you still thinking about me? Like, why? Why are you even still thinking about me, let alone doing spell word or the collective or whoever? You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is wild. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the reposts. Oh, Lord, we got bad news. I think that this little karmic spiritualist is getting bad news, honey. Yeah, what I say earlier, closing these cycles, illumination, awakening. As you close the cycles, you ascend higher and higher. You awaken more and more. Like, we're constantly having awakenings. You got that queen bee energy, honey. Oh, okay. Okay, then. Yeah, Spirit said, you happily single right now, but you're not about to be single no more. Okay. Living in the moment. Yeah, Spirit said, keep it simple. Live in the moment. Trust the divine. Because when you're not worried about the future and you're not regretting the past and dwelling on the past, you're living in the moment. And that's basically the equivalent of trusting the divine and trusting Spirit. You said, how about questions? Will I win my lawsuit? You could pay for a question. You said, is my 80-year-old sugar daddy coming soon? Lord, you do not want no 80-year-old sugar daddy. I promise you. Ugh. Like that girl says, yuck. You do not. Don't let that old man sweet talk you, girl. Don't let that old man. Hey, Prakuchi. You said you want to enter the cold. Oh, my Lord. So, yeah, this spiritualist straight up tried to backstab you on some old whack shit because she mad with dude she with. And for some of y'all, someone will come back trying to sweet talk you. And Spirit said, you know if you need to put that relationship to rest. Don't be out here trying to fool yourself into thinking that that thing is going to last if you know it's not. Oh, Lord. Somebody out here having reckless sex. All right, now, do you want to have a baby? Do you want one of them? Let me know now. We have romance. So, yeah, you, like I said, you're not going to be happily single for much longer, okay? Because romance is coming in. I said romance is coming in and we got GPS. So the spirit is basically saying that you and your divine counterpart are now on the same GPS. So you all are being led together, drawn together. You're following the divine, you're following spirit. And so by following spirit, that will lead you all together finally. Yeah, I'm hearing Whitney Houston, I'm gonna run to you. Or I wanna run to you, something like that. Yeah. Y'all gonna be running to each other, frolicking. Some of you may meet this person in the workplace. Yeah. That spiritualist trying to do work on this on this union. Psycho. You gotta be psycho to do that to a divine union. Yeah, Spirit said they shady as hell. Damn. Shady as hell. Shady McGrady. We got phony trickster energy. And what's wild is it has fairy tale at the bottom. So like this spiritualist that's been trying to do work on this divine union to prevent it from happening, she saw that relationship as being a fairy tale relationship. And so she wanted it, or it was kind of like the energy of, because she feels stuck in her relationship because she did spell work to get the relationship. So it's like it wasn't even so much like I want that person to come to me type energy. It was more like I want stop. It was more like I want get down. More like I just want to stop this person from having this fairy tale relationship. Mm. Oh, okay. Look. Oh, okay. And look at the bottom of the deck. Mystical magical wand. I was just talking about spell work. Homegirl thinks that she is a damn magician. Do you hear me? Spirit said, we got this whole straight up under investigation. Thank you for the follow. Spirit said, you are being rewarded with abundance because you have passed all tests with flying colors. Your gifts are enhancing exponentially. You prepare for this opportunity. Ooh, your patience is paying off. I said at the very beginning of the message that you have been like, come on, Spirit. When it gonna happen? When we doing this? Just be open to receive. It's because you keep it real. You're authentic. You're just authentically you. You know who you are. I say you know who you are, and this is the next card, mastering your energy. Yeah. Spirit said you are soul food, honey. You have leadership energy. Hi, Tori. So we had your inner child is thriving earlier, and we have now your inner child is healed. You about to be paid to exist. But you are evolving. You got that magnetic energy. Your health is improving. Okay. Tell me more, because I mean, it sounds like the collective is thriving like hell. I mean, no, down, get down, get down, get down. I'm not gonna be able to sit on this couch a whole lot because these two right here, all up in my never mind. Oh my God, excuse me. We have the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles has been patiently waiting for her abundance to manifest. It has not been an easy road. You have had to plant seeds, you have had to water seeds, you have had to let your crops grow, you have had to pull up weeds. Hi, Angie. So yeah, that money is long and strong. Spirit said the beginning of the life, unlimited wealth coming out of this energy right here. Spirit is saying everything that you have been through has not been in vain. Because each one of those swords represents all the ways that you read energy now. These swords are representative of communication. And what you did is you took all that hate that people use to stab you, to talk shit about you, to put you down, to make you have low self-esteem, to burden you unnecessary, to cause you pain and anguish and emotional strife unnecessarily. You took all of those swords of communication. Because that's basically what all that is. Everything you experience is through some kind of communication. And you alchemized it, and Spirit is saying you turned these into antennas to the cosmos. So when I tell you that your superpowers are superpowering, all of these points in your body have been transmuted by you into antennas to the cosmos. Bruh. Yeah, the Queen of Swords. What I say you transmuted all of this into an antenna to the cosmos. If that don't look like an antenna to the cosmos, I don't know what does. And this is straight alchemization. Because when you go from this to this, nothing but magician energy. And the card that said magician came out earlier. Mystical, magical wand. Spirit said, you cut through the moonlight. You are, and I said earlier that you were channeling information from the highest levels of consciousness. And I would say that the moon would be the highest levels of consciousness. So when you can take your mind and your energy and pierce through the moon, all of the illusions, you read energy with precision. There is nothing hidden from you. And the interesting part is all of this, most of this was from other spiritualists. So like, regular people did mess with you, but the majority of these are also representative of the ranking of the people who did this to you. So when you have high-ranking spiritual beings doing spell work on a divine being, we talking about the Galactic Council getting involved at this point. And they are not happy. And we got the Magician card. I think that would be confirmation. You said she did work against my mom, sister, and me. Oh my goodness, your aunt. Oh my Lord. That's misrepresenting spirituality, because true spiritualists don't promote no damn spell work ever. And I was talking about drinking from the Holy Grail earlier. I was talking about the fact that Spirit was saying that when Jesus was drinking from the cup, it was symbolizing, like, we have, like I was saying, Spirit was saying, we live in a sea of emotions. So if you can imagine like being engulfed in the sea, like in the bottom of the sea or whatever, existing in the ocean, and that water, how it's constantly touching you, constantly actually being absorbed by your body and all kinds of things. That's how we engulf ourselves in different emotions that are just like floating around. And so when I use the term sea of emotions, Spirit was comparing the emotions that swirl around us constantly to a body of water. And so they were saying that when Jesus was drinking from the chalice, or the Holy Grail, he was reading, that was a metaphor for reading the energy, because like I think right now Spirit is making the correlation where like your gifts come so easily to you that it's basically going to be like drinking water. um and I know that drinking water may not be easy for everybody, but just if you can imagine, like, just the act of drinking water, like the ease of it, notwithstanding like a sore throat or anything like that, but you know when everything is working and functioning and you're drinking water, like, it might even actually be refreshing. But so they were saying that he was basically reading the energy of everyone around him and truly seeing people for who they are. And that's what Spirit was talking to me about previously, about like the Last Supper, and that the Last Supper is basically a metaphor for like the awakening process and seeing people for who they really are, and um like gifts, your gifts becoming apparent. And so, and the Nine of Swords came out in reverse. And so I feel like Spirit is saying that you're moving out of that energy of like, you know, anxiety, can't sleep, just being restless, mind racing. So you're definitely coming out of that energy. Yeah, the Seven of Cups. So you will definitely have lots of opportunities. This is also, there all Spirit is also talking about you'll have several choices in divine unions. And you just have to pick the one that's best for you. And what's interesting though is that the energy feels like it's not a mandatory thing. Like if you're not feeling it, then you don't have to do it. And it's representative of there being like many options, because we each have our own journey to traverse and our own lives to live. And so people don't have to get in line enough to be in a divine union that they signed up for. And so when you talk about having multiple options and then picking the one that's best for you, that's basically spirit saying we have these different divine beings lined up for each other, but just because there's one in the front of the line, that doesn't mean that has to be the one. And so I definitely feel like spirit is talking about the time that you have spent in hermit mode is now paying off, because it's going to come in handy when you begin to have to make these choices and what opportunities to take. Yeah, we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I definitely feel like you're being brought out of the cold. Because a lot of people have tried to play you. A lot of people have tried to break you down. A lot of people have been extremely jealous, extremely competitive, catty. Some people will do anything to come against you. But the spirit said, oh no, we got this. Just continue to listen to the communication that we send you. Hi, Liliana. And here we have the Queen of Cups. We were talking about energy. We were talking about emotion. We were talking about water. We were talking about the sea. So this is Spirit is saying this is pretty much a depiction of what I was talking about earlier, like being in a sea of energy. I mean, a sea of energy, which is emotions. And so, like I was talking about, like the water constantly touching her, she's absorbing the water and all of that. That's how the emotions swirl around us, and that's how we're connecting to it. And so we have to determine like what position we're going to take. Which emotions are we going to attach to? Are we going to attach to emotions of fear, of lack, of, defeat, anger, hate, jealousy? And like she's holding a cup, like I was talking about earlier, as far as like going along with, I know this is the Queen of Cups, so of course it's gonna have a cup in the picture, but I'm just saying this goes along with the overall theme of what we've been talking about. Because like putting the seashell to her ear is hearing from spirit. And I feel like they're also saying that we all live half in Atlantis and half in this realm. So take that as you will, but that's what Spirit said. Hi, Trophy Truths. We got the Wheel of Fortune. And it's definitely turning in your favor, honey, because Spirit said unlimited wealth. Unlimited wealth. The Knight of Swords came out upside down. I feel like this is somebody that was trying to play with your head. Somebody that was really just like playing a whole bunch of games. Probably because they were hurt. It feels like a masculine energy that was doing it. Just playing a bunch of mind games. Yeah, we have the Empress. The Empress has alchemized, and that's what I'm talking about. That's 1000% Empress energy. Alchemized all of the swords. She alchemized, he alchemized all of the swords that were thrown at her or him. Became the Queen of Swords and the Empress. Because it's like the Empress is sitting pretty and resting in her femininity, but the cutoff game is strong, baby. Don't take that kindness for weakness. Sis ain't no punk. Sis ain't no punk. And to be here. So, this soft, calm, peaceful individual that you see had to go through a lot of crazy shit. And still on a daily basis, and this car was turned up. Only a star being would be able to navigate life in the way that you have navigated life and come out not looking like what you've been through. Mm, mm, mm. That's why I'm telling you, only a star being can pull that one off. Because it has been persecution after persecution after persecution after persecution. Sometimes Spirit is saying sometimes you didn't even get a real breather in between. One one smacks you upside the head and then you get over that and you like, woo, okay, we still in the game, and then bam, here go another one. Like, what? Like, I ain't even get an opportunity to get over the last one. What? We have the Three of Wands. You feel me? Thank you for the follow. But yeah, so you gonna like we talked about earlier, you're gonna have some real options, some real choices to make. I'm hearing time is on your side. And Spirit say you gonna own the earth. Like, you gonna own so much land. You might as well just say I own the earth. And I feel like there's something significant about 3 weeks. I feel like one of y'all's pot of gold is coming in 3 weeks. So that would be the end of February. I feel like if you like spirit is showing me somebody who just started a workout regimen, like walking more, exercising more. And spirit is saying that this backpack is what you have carried things that you may need for the future. So like if somebody did a reading for you and it was something, it was like a future reading, future energy reading, and they just said, okay, well, if it doesn't resonate right now, just put that in your back pocket for later. And spirit is like, this in this backpack is where you put all those things for later. So that's an interesting concept because I was hearing your future is behind you. So if your future is behind you, you're actually working backwards to the beginning. Wow, that's deep. So what's the point of the future being behind? So the imagery that they're giving me is like a movie that starts from the end. And so yeah, it's like there's the way they're showing it to me is like a movie running in reverse. And so that's like what spirit is talking about, going back to the beginning, like going back to how it was during like creation and the very beginning. And I think that's also what they're making reference to the backpack, like going back to how it was in the beginning. And so it's almost like giving the energy that spirit is having to go back in time because that creates a whole new cycle. So, like, going in reverse will take you back to the beginning and it like reverses or erases the things that happen going this way. So if you're progressively clearing things out going back, then going forward is going to be a totally different existence trajectory, whatever. And I know that, like, me just sitting here articulating that is an extremely deep concept. And it's throwing me off a little bit, but at the same time it does kind of make sense. But then it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. But I can't even I can't even put spirit in any kind of box ever because that would just be like a complete and utter injustice because we have no idea. We have absolutely no idea the intricacies down, down, down. Thank you. Down. I thought y'all were about to chill, and then when I got up here, y'all turned up. Oh my Lord. Okay, Spirit, what else you got to tell us about this one, this spread? Changes on the horizon. And I feel like the year 9 was definitely a year of change. That card has the number 9 on it. Yeah, your divine union will be a mature man. And that doesn't mean like old or elderly. It just means mature. Isn't going to play games. Sudden wealth. I told ya. I thought I told ya. All that hard work you did to alchemize that energy. Spirit's like, oh, we gonna bless you. And like, oh, we gonna bless you. And 3 equals 11. She's toiling and laboring on this side to get to this sudden wealth. And I'm not talking about like climbing up the corporate ladder and making more money. I'm talking about just simply being down in the trenches, doing the work, passing tests and completing and closing cycles in the workplace, in your personal life. And Spirit said, it's time. And when you have 1111, that's the number of the sun. These 11 and 11 mirror each other. So these are 2 sides of the same coin, Spirit is saying. And one half of life, it was fucked up. You was down in the damn dumps. You was down just damn working multiple jobs, slaving. And Spirit said, it's time now for you to be richly rewarded. And Spirit said, these people who put you in a position to have to toil and labor are going to spiritual jail. Because somebody's inheritance was stolen. And if this person's inheritance had not been stolen, they would not have had to work so damn hard all their life. They would have been set up for life. But these people who decided to try to keep the abundance away from y'all, Spirit said, oh yeah, they go into spiritual jail and regular jail, without a doubt. Yeah, you going from poverty to wealthy. Toil and labor. Because you might as well say toiling and laboring is poverty. To all this sudden wealth. Look at that. Look at there. Look at there. Yeah, folks really put your ass in poverty for their own selfish reasons. Yeah. I feel like spirit is saying you're getting set free. No more being anchored down. And you will get a message with some information very shortly. The child came out, so I feel like whoever I'm talking to, this inheritance was stolen when you were a child. By a mature woman, could possibly be your grandmother. Interfered in what your grandfather left you. And this could also represent your grandfather for whoever I'm talking to. The wealthy man left you some money, and the old lady took your money when you were a child. There they go. Because the grandfather died first. And then the grandmother had the responsibility of telling the rest of the family, like, this is what we wanted or he wanted. And she blocked it. Spirit is saying this has come to your intuition before. You know that you have it's giving the energy that you have thought about it before, and when it came to your mind, you just dismissed it. Mm. Yeah. We have unexpected income that clarified the privileged lady. So, yeah, for sure. Just get ready. And like spirit is saying that what happens is they test people to see can you maintain a good disposition? Can you maintain being a good person even in the midst of the storm? And so the storm may look like, because I was watching someone else's live the other day, and she was saying, I was actually outside alive, and she was saying, like, basically TikTok was her living. And so she was like, I need more people to buy readings. She was just like, expressing that she was trying to make it on a TikTok income, and it was not working. And so because of that, I was like, let me buy a reading. So I bought a reading, and I was like, she just did not seem like she was even remotely appreciative. And it was sad to see because like most people be like, look at God, somebody just bought a reading, or thank you, spirit, for bringing me someone to get me a reading, to get a reading or whatever. And so it was really sad to me, because I'm like, if you can't get through a hard time or like multiple hard times, it's going to be very challenging to ever achieve full enlightenment and become an ascended master. You said, when you saying spirit, what are you referring to? So I'm referring to what I would consider source. When I say spirit, I say so. I'm talking about source, but I'm also talking about, spirit guides, ancestors, um, because all these energies are in spirit. And so any kind of energy really could be considered spirit, um, because they're not in a physical body. So that's on that. Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm gonna do another spread. I feel like spirits about do another one. Do another one. They are silly. Wait, why are y'all so crazy? Why do I feel like this about to be some type of damn love reading? Here we go. So I feel like I'm talking to someone who has multiple options of people, and they're not very good options, but um in each individual way, each person is giving that they could potentially be a divine counterpart. And so what spirit is doing is spirit is showing you different aspects of yourself, and um when you heal that aspect, when you heal each of those aspects, so I feel like it's like three different people you have an option of, and whatever you don't like about those people are basically mirrors of what you need to work on. So like one may be codependent, another one may not be able to communicate, they're just scared to express their emotions. And another one could just be kind of bitter, maybe is, financially, because of like maybe if it's a man, from a man's perspective, they felt like they invested in the wrong person, or it could just be bitter about past relationships and just letting those past situations kind of dictate what their situation was looking like. And so you will have to um decide if that's important to you to heal, because basically if you pick one of them and they're still in that energy, then it's going to be a situation where you're going to have to constantly look at yourself until you heal that aspect of yourself. Hi. Um, so I don't like how this message is going so far. I really don't. I don't. And see, what bothers me is that it's a lesson. You know that it's something you need to learn when you know how heavily protected you are, and these people keep coming back around because it's giving the energy of like three people that just keep trying to circle back and trying to circle back and trying to circle back. And it's basically because each of them are very apprehensive about you and your power and your, like, it's like they can sense your spiritual rank, but they can't articulate what that is or what that means. And um it's very, I want to use the word daunting to them, but it's kind of like if you've ever encountered someone that kind of checked all your boxes and just seemed too good to be true, and you got scared because you felt like it was too good to be true, and maybe you sabotaged the relationship. So that's the energy they're giving. You said, "Oh my goodness." So does this resonate for you? He said, "Yes, ma'am." Okay, let's see what's going on. So I was talking about one being codependent, and to me, this is representative of codependency because when you're, so the wands represent fire and like energy and all of that. And so when you're using your energy to basically drain people, that's codependency. Okay. I do a mini, a regular, and an extended. Just depends on what you would like. And I talked about one being like kind of bitter. And notwithstanding what this traditionally means. Like just the way that he's looking at what he's cultivated, and it's like it's giving apathy, it's giving um nothing really satisfies me, and I just, like that type of energy. And this is the one that wasn't able to really communicate, like just in their head think about you all the time, but won't really tell you, like will kind of tell you, like do one of those things like I miss you, and then when you respond they read it but then they don't say anything. Bruh. Like, you got the nerve to send me a message. I have the audacity to respond to you, even though I know you be on some bullshit. And you still don't reply back. You said, girl, is you in my energy right now? Apparently. Okay. Thank you for the gift. Um, so Spirit's like, yeah, you can move to calmer waters by just addressing these things and having a fresh start. Using those swords to your benefit to get you to the next place. And then, being open to new experiences and new beginnings. And now, let me just say this. It's also not a bad thing to pick one and work on that thing with that person. So, in essence, you're saying, I'm willing to work on this thing that this person is mirroring to me. I'm willing to work on that with them versus working on it without them and then getting into a relationship. So basically, I feel like what Spirit is saying is that nobody is perfect, and we all have things to work on. And I think we don't need to be too judgmental. I mean, of course, we need proper boundaries, and I'm not talking about anyone who's abusive in any way. I'm not talking about anyone who, is a substance abuser or anything like that. I'm not judging anybody, but those are instances where only you can help you in those situations. And that's not something. So when I'm talking about mirroring, I'm not talking about y'all mirroring each other and we are addicted to the same drug type mirroring. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's all about what it is that you needed to work on with regard to relationships. So the hangups that you still have surrounding relationships is representative in these different people. And so the Spirit is basically saying that you don't have to be like quote unquote a whole person in order to be in a working relationship with someone. But of course, each individual has to be willing to do the work and willing to put in the effort. And so, I think that's what the decision boils down to, really. Um, like, if you can communicate with a person, if you are on the same page with a person, if you can, both of you are willing to go to therapy or get help when you need it, you're open to learning new things and being a student and all that. I feel like that is who spirit is nudging you towards, because if someone is in the energy of not being able to really admit what isn't right in their life, even though they really kind of know, um that's not somebody you can work with, because if they're not going to be honest with themselves, they're not going to be honest with you, and they're going to be hiding a lot of stuff on a regular basis. And that's where narcissists come from, because narcissists do not want to even admit or acknowledge that they are a narcissist. They don't want to admit or acknowledge that they do what they do. And so, I mean, you can't do anything with that. If you're not going to acknowledge that you have stuff with you, and you got some shit with you, then you know that you cannot work with that. And then you also can't work with someone who's just not going to communicate. If you can't communicate your feelings, if you can't like communicate um what's going on, or staying in communication with somebody, how you gonna communicate within a relationship? That's gonna kill the relationship, because you're gonna be trying to communicate without communicating. Like, honey. And even though my telepathy skills are on point, I'm not. Thank you for the gifts. We not doing that. Where I'm having to read your daggone mind every time I want to know something. No. Because you a grown ass. Talking to a brick wall. You a grown ass person. But I'm not going to even hold y'all. I do have a problem expressing my emotions. I really do. Thank you for the likes. So, yeah. There's one thing about romantic relationships, and your children will show you exactly who you are. Thank you for sharing the live. He said she keeps missing me. Child. That's what I'm saying. That I miss you, and then don't say nothing else for a damn week. Well, the secret accounts was trying to come out. Yes, it is. Which one did you want? 11, 11, 22, 22, or 33, 33? Okay. Um, so my Cash App is the same as my name on here, Return of the Jedi, DJEDI. You have Cash App? Okay, so it's the same as my name on here, Return of DJEDI. Thank you for the heartbeat. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the heartbeat. So for some of y'all might just be moving on from all three. Hell, never can damn tell. Mm, okay. And this was confirming secret accounts because they were all in their head trying to watch you up all damn night, watching your videos and shit. Lurking from secret accounts in your live. Okay. I said secret accounts, and here we go. Okay. Let's see. So, what did you have a specific type reading you wanted? Hi. Okay, I need to know if I'm wasting my time. Okay, so basically like a love reading. He said, and if it's even worth the emotional investment. Okay. And I could just call you resilient. Hold on a second. I meant to get a pen and I did not. Oh my god. Okay. Um. Okay, your name is Chelsea. All right, higher self, spirit. What does Chelsea need to know about the emotional investments? And is she wasting her time? Um, it's kind of giving the energy of this person is really not your type. You're the typical person that you deal with. Let me know if that's Don't say anything else other than that, but I'm just trying to see if this is the energy. And when I say different from what you normally, well, what I'm saying is the one that I'm picking up on is somebody that with the energy is saying this isn't somebody you typically would be attracted to, like from a physical standpoint. Um, so is one of them, does one of them fit that category? You say yes, but that isn't the one I wanted to ask about. Okay, well that one was coming up in your energy. Okay, so can you give me the name because spirit is just gonna give me the energy they want to give me. You're extremely attracted to the other one. Okay. I feel like that's why spirit brought that up because um I feel like they're saying the one that you're not as attracted to is the one that is actually a better fit. So with that being said, I would say that no, the person that you were interested in talking about is not worth the investment. Is not worth your time because look, I know, child. I know. Cause it always be the one that you attracted to. That's what I was saying to my spirit team. I know good as damn well that I deserve it all. Like I deserve the total package. Um, but there's something about like looks with this whole scenario and all that because I think that you know that the one that's not as attractive would be there for you, has shown consistency, consistency, loyalty, expresses themselves well. Um, but the hesitancy is like, yeah, but am I still like gonna be physically attracted to this person long term? You said she doesn't make the poo poo. Okay, well, I'm gonna say that I'm not an advocate for I'm not an advocate for being with somebody for just practical reasons and not being attracted to them. So I would definitely say that you might have to uh start over. Because I was saying that for some of you, you're gonna be walking away from all of the individuals. And I definitely feel like if you just not really feeling look, I know this is not the message that I wanted to have to deliver. Okay. It's not. Um, yeah. Like it's just not. Because once you've invested the time, I know that you definitely would want to, at least be with one of the people you've invested time with. But honey, this shit be bananas. It's bananas out here. Let me see if anything else Spirit wants to say. So I feel like you may have a friend. You said lately I've been feeling like I'm gonna drop all day buzz, but shaking my head, and I'm low key kind of sad but tired. Yeah. Okay. So that resonates then. Um, but no, I'm doing a reading for resilient. Okay, resilient. What are your questions? Sorry, I was like, who am I doing a reading for again? Oh, okay. What's your question? But oh, let me just say this. Let me get this out so you can tell me if this resonates or not. So I feel like you have a friend who's just a the person is a platonic friend. However, you could see yourself dating them, but um y'all just never really got it together. And let me know if that resonates. And you said it's platonic, but we're definitely intimate. She keeps yo-yoing my emotions. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that so they were connecting the evil eye to that person. So that person is fucking with you because that's their way of like throwing evil eye at you. You said like friends with benefits, but then keeps calling me friend. Yeah, yeah, it's giving that person is thank you for the follow. Yeah, so if I were you, being that home girl is low key throwing you the evil eye and like wishing ill upon you and shit. Mm-mm. You said, is she actually interested in me past friends or no? I don't think she's interested past friends. Um, because it's given the energy of playing games for sure. Let me pull some cards. Because the thing is that in the long run, that, I mean, if you look at it like, well, I can mess with this person temporarily and we can just see how things go or whatever, and you're not really attached to the outcome, then you could, do that. But I would just say, the long term. He's talking about Popo Liddy Raw. But we exchanged Valentine's gifts. Like, it's confusing. Okay. Yeah. Um, it's almost giving the energy of like is giving the energy of like doing, and I don't want you to feel bad or be offended by what I'm about to say, but like doing enough to keep you around, but not doing it with the intention of anything long term. And I really, I hate to deliver messages like that, but I really think it's a blessing to get the heads up. And then you can make an informed decision. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you want to mess with it and um just see how long it plays out, and I don't want to put in your mind like you waiting for the shoe to drop. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying don't be so attached. If you really know that you gonna mess with this person, you have to be in a space where whatever happens is gonna happen. Like, I'm detached from the outcome. I'm not going to trip or wild out or crash out or go to jail because this shit went south. But can you really honestly do that with somebody that you truly like? It's a conundrum because if you really like the person and the more you around them, you get attached and all of that stuff. You said detached from the outcome. Perfect identity. What do you mean by perfect identity? Thank you for the likes. Um, yeah, it would have to be like I feel like spirit is like you work too long and hard to get from here to here. And to be letting somebody like come in and um mess with you in any kind of way, like fuck with your energy, try to manipulate your energy, try to deplete you of your energy. Like, Spirit said you were all, locked up in your head, was having a hard time figuring things out. But now you sit in this King of Wands energy. You done did the work and mastered your energy. And so that's why spirit is like, it's so important for you to make sure that whoever's energy you're surrounding yourself with is going to keep you in this King of Wands energy. In your leadership energy, because you have stuff to do. You said, I wish I had fuckboy energy. I'm such a dumbass little girl. No, you're not. Don't say that. Like trying to put a name with a face. But yeah, I mean sometimes, like, I was thinking about this today, and really being walking karma, you do have that fuckboy energy all the time. It's just whether you're going to utilize it or not. So I'm basically telling you that you are walking karma. you say, you say, oh, you know you are. Did you know that you're walking karma? Not meaning that you are like heaping karma. It means that you go into people's lives to test them. It's not a bad, I mean, when I say walking karma, it's not you are karma or you're reaping some kind of karma. It's that you go into people's lives to be their karma. So that's why you are mirroring these two people that you're dealing with. So whatever, aside from the looks part, whatever you're not vibing with, um, in that person's personality, like y'all are mirroring each other, and it's the same thing that you and the other one are mirroring each other. And so yeah, spirit is like, um you could either you said I have said a mouthful. Oh my god. Well, I'm just glad that it's resonating for you. Spirit wanted me to pull some of my handwritten cards. And you also, okay, so you also have the Ace of Pentacles. You also have the Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. So, I mean, there's abundant new beginnings on your horizon. So I feel like spirit is saying that whatever you choose to do, it doesn't really like it's not going to be detrimental, um like super duper detrimental, but it's kind of like you see the end already. Like if you're really honest about the people that you're dealing with, um you can kind of see that just because of the person that you are and the standards that you have, it may be a challenge. Does that resonate? And I don't mean to sound so vague, um but I mean, you know what standards you have. And so, okay, you're saying yes. Yeah, because you know what standards you have, and it's giving the energy of like you can't stand behind bullshit. Like you're not gonna be with somebody that's just going to do dumb shit and not have leadership qualities and check off certain boxes for you. And so if you get into a long-term relationship with somebody that does not really meet your moral standard, that's gonna be a whole other issue in itself. So you got highly intelligent but no common sense, and that sounds like one of the other people, not your energy. Took your kindness for weakness. You said literally. So one of them took one or both took your kindness for weakness. You're stronger because of it. And you are loved. See, spirit is like, there's nothing wrong with being a lover girl. Absolutely nothing. You just have to give it to the right person. And I know that sounds cliche and all that shit. But yeah, they dealing with ego and some more shit. I feel like the one that you're more attracted to is the one dealing with the ego. It says loyalty is not unconditional. So this is talking about setting those boundaries. And I don't really feel like you have a problem with setting boundaries. I think that it's the other people that have a problem with violating your boundaries. And then you end up like, oh, okay, we can talk. Somebody done got around the damn block. The blocked phone. Yeah, they out here can't eat, can't sleep. Anytime you leave, folks be like, I can't eat, I can't sleep. And just ignore my bad singing skills. There's a time and place to be ratchet. Is one of them ratchet? It says there's a time and place to be ratchet. You said, then why play in my face if that's how you feel? Because, honey, let me tell you, jealousy. I had a card that came out earlier in the collective message that said jealousy, ego, hatred, competition, whatever, will make people do some strange things. And that would be one of those strange things. Like, I had to cut people loose who I consider close friends because I was like, there's no way that these people are my close friends. There's just no way. And so, we have substance abuse. So it's giving the energy that one of them might be dealing with some kind of substance, whether you know that or not. Yeah, you definitely have an old soul. For sure. Hey, Antoine. You got your eyes? Yeah. You are a very powerful being. I feel like I was talking to you in the collective when I was talking about being rewarded for your like being rewarded for your hard work, having sudden wealth, for doing what it is that you have been, that you are supposed to do. And so you are about to be richly rewarded. You said I was raised by my grandmother. Okay. Yeah, so you definitely old soul in that sense, but you also have an old soul, like literally. And that's why you're so powerful, because ancient deities are reincarnating. There's a lot here. You said I just did an interview. I hope I get it. Um, Spirit, what do you have for the outcome of the interview? Okay. Let me see what they're saying about the interview, though. They're showing you filling out paperwork like as if it's the onboarding paperwork. So I would definitely say that you're going to get a job. If it's not that particular job, they have you onboarding at a in a position. So okay. Congratulations in advance. I don't even know where the little clapper thing is. Um yeah, I used to do the clapping thing, but I don't know where it is. You said I need the abundance. Yeah, you definitely had the Nine of Pentacles and you had the Ace of Pentacles, so definitely a new beginning in money. Um yeah. So I hope that helped you. Thank you for trusting me with your energy. You said I'm ready to get my shit together, but yeah. Hi, are you able to get a read on career for me? Did you want to pay for a reading? You can, oh, just inbox me, DM me for a private reading because my link tree is not working right now, so that wasn't a good idea anyway. I just stopped paying because I was like, I'm wasting my money because I'm not even updating the link tree. It was all out of date and people were booking, at the wrong price and it was just a mess. So yeah. Ignore the link tree in the bio and just message me. Yes, for sure. So if you book a private reading, it'll be over Zoom. So I don't know, y'all. What y'all think I should do? Um, like elements, like you said. I need some spiritual direction because I feel so lost. Okay. Based on your energy, I don't get the energy that you're lost at all. Um you may not feel as tapped in right now because I think we're all going through that because when you go through a large amount of upgrades, you're not going to feel like doing shit. Like I had to drag myself to come on live tonight. Yeah. I had to like drag myself on here because I have been like I'll go out and I'll exercise, but I have been feeling like I really had to preserve my energy. Like it was just a mandatory. And because it takes so much energy to come on live and yeah, drain, yeah. Because it takes so much of my energy to come on here, I was just like, nah, I'm not going there. Okay, I'm going to, I guess, do Let's do water signs first. Okay, water signs. You want some other shit. Cause you straight up like, to hell with all that illusion shit. I'm taking all my power back. To hell with all that talking crazy, being all in my mind. Trying to have me out here delusional. No. I'm taking my power back. And just like I said, I'm taking my power back. You see how all them wands that she used to have to fight with and defend herself with, she transmuted into a whole ass basket for her to utilize? Like, that's straight up transmutation of energy. Walking away from anyone who doesn't serve you, who isn't good for you, who isn't filling your cup. Okay. Dealing with people who was trying to keep money from you, like, I'm not investing in this person because I need to see blah blah blah. Like, okay. And it be the ones that got a little bit of money that say that. The ones that trying to hold on to that little bit of money, they be talking about, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. It costs too much money today. Spirit said this person is not going to be juggling you. There is not going to be any third parties involved. And they will be working with you, collaborating with you, celebrating your wins with you. Okay. When you do the work, when you set proper boundaries, there's no choice but to have what you want come in. Yeah, Spirit said at one point you had so much imposter syndrome that you could not see that you are a high priestess. So just because it's in reverse doesn't mean that you're not a high priestess. It just means it could mean that you're not using your gifts properly. You're not using them at all. You're trying to hide from your gifts. You don't want to acknowledge your gifts. But I feel like that is, and also too, like spirit will cloak you from your own energy. So, it at when you were in that energy, it really wasn't like your fault or anything that you did or didn't do. It was just a matter of it was designed. Your life was designed in such a way that you would not know your gifts or know who you are until later in life. Yeah, this person isn't gonna play with you. They're not gonna be playing no kitty games. They can actually see your value, your worth. Yeah, because you the magician. You are the magician and the high priestess. So I feel like with this in reverse, Spirit is saying it's like you're using your energy to communicate. And you do have very big, strong energy, but that's not enough. You have to use your voice. You have to, because that's what this world utilizes is voice. Versus like the spirit realm, they communicate telepathically. So, because I keep feeling like Spirit is saying you have to cut through the energy. So, like I was saying previously, I don't know, it was a while ago in a live. I was saying that your voice, like when you actually speak things out of your voice, is more significant in this realm because this realm, as the spirit realm, but this realm has a vibrational frequency that aligns with your vocal cords and like the vibration of your vocal cords again versus just communicating telepathically. So there's a significance in this particular realm because of the vibration of your vocal cords in connection to the energy around you, the fabric of the universe, your emotions. And so and that goes along with speaking things into existence. And so it's just important to use your voice, just like trying to knowing that the person is intuitive and trying to get them to pick up on what you're thinking or feeling intuitively. Mm-mm. We not doing that. We not playing that game in this room. Because how you start a relationship, you have to be willing to finish it like that. And finish it mean ride out, if you're gonna get married or whatever, ride out into the sunset for the rest of your lives with dealing with whatever you got to deal with at the beginning. I don't go into relationships trying to change people. If I like what you working with currently, and if it just gets better, great. But if it stays the same, I can deal with it. And then that's a whole that could be a whole discussion in itself. All right, we're gonna go on to earth signs. Alright, so spirit, what do the earth signs need to know? Alright, so what does the earth signs need to know? So this is interesting because okay, so this is an interesting interpretation that spirit is giving me. So they're talking about the sun going down, like the sun going down at night and the moon rising. And so, you know, the hangman is kind of representative of Jesus on the cross, because you see it's a cross here, and then he's got this sun halo around his head, and that's pretty much, you know, depictions of Jesus. And so the sun going down would be, I guess, you know, the metaphorical crucifixion. And then the moon rising, well, we know that the feminine is associated with the moon. So it definitely is representative of removing the patriarchy, the rise of the divine feminine, and the spirit is saying you defeated the devil. Spirit said not even spiritual death can hold you, because you always gonna rise. And these people really tried to keep you out in the cold. They tried to dim your light. There were people that like intentionally tried to keep you out in the cold by dimming your light. Yeah, that's messed up. But Spirit said, oh, there's definitely a table being prepared for you before your enemies. So have no fear. All right, so we about to do air sign Or did I do air already? No, I didn't do air. Oh my god. Excuse me. Alright, so Spirit, what do the air signs need to know? Well, we have quite a bit of air out here already. So this is definitely an air sign reading. So I feel like Spirit is saying that you have, and this is gender neutral, like you had a bunch of Knight of Cups in the reverse coming to your life, being emotionally unavailable, not supportive, not operating from their leadership energy, just not being in all of their authority. And you blocked it. You were like, nah, homie. Maybe in high school you was the man, but nah, not here, not today. Yeah, Spirit said you reigned victorious, leaving folks behind. We ain't come here to play. And you see how there's 3 people in this card, and there's people being left behind, and there's clearly like betrayal. This is giving like trickster energy, like these 2 people were trying to do some kind of trickster shit to this person in the front. But then we have the 3 of Pentacles. So this, you're going to have people that are actually going to be a part of your true community, your soul tribe, people that are willing to collaborate with you and work with you. And it's going to be the complete opposite of what you've had to experience. So basically, Spirit is talking about they're bringing balance, being in balance to your romantic life and your platonic like platonic friendships. So, like your soul tribe, finding your soul tribe. Okay, I like it. Darling, if you have Cash App, I have Cash App. It's the same as my name on here. And a mini is 1111. The regular is 2222 and the extended is 3333. Oh my god. Okay, let's do fire signs. signs? Higher self, where what do the fire signs need to know? What do the fire signs need to know? Okay, fire signs, you closing cycles out here. You coming out of this energy, no longer being burdened and overwhelmed, and all that you had to endure, you are reigning victorious with balanced energies, closed cycles, being secure in who you are, a stable leadership. And Spirit is saying that you not only close cycles for your bloodline, but you close cycles for the world. Yeah, you do that. And that's why the things that come up against you seem to be so difficult, because you're closing cycles literally for the world. So when you close a cycle, you may or may not see the fruits of your labor in your lifetime. You may or may not see the fruits of your labor in another lifetime. I'm not gonna sit here and try to make up some kind of calculation of how long it takes for you to see the fruits of your labor. But it's like, I'm trying to get an analogy. So it's kind of like how they're giving it to me is like closing a circle or closing a pool. Like, say you have one of those stand up on top of the ground pools, and but when it doesn't have water in it, it collapses. So you have a circle, you've closed the cycle, but in order for the sides to stand up, it has to have water in it. So you have to now, like, that circle being closed now can start filling up with fresh clean water, fresh clean emotions, fresh clean starts. But like I said, it may take a couple of generations to really truly see the fruits of your labor. And so, but you are the star, though. You definitely have that supernatural energy, that otherworldly energy, that star seed energy. I feel like your new beginning is going to be communicated to you really soon. Like 8 days, someone will be contacting you. Yeah, I feel like Spirit is saying you built up your strength with all of this shit that you had to go through. I'm hearing it's been a long, dusty ass road, but it'll all be worth it in the long run. And the fact that I said dusty ass road, like a dirt road, may be significant. The desert may be significant. I feel like there's somebody that was living on a farm. Now I'm getting a whole movie about this damn farm life. So it was like this girl, I feel like it's a feminine energy, was raised on a damn farm. And since I'm doing this during the fire sign reading, maybe you're a fire sign or it's highly aspected in your chart. But you were living on a farm. You like basically grew up on a farm, and for the people like that were around you, your siblings, your parents, nothing you did was good enough. Everything was criticized. But let me tell you something. Energy recognizes energy whether they want to acknowledge it or not. Now, these cards just randomly ended up at the bottom of this deck somehow. So I'm going to say, I don't know if I want to take these. Let me see. Um, Daggone. How they get mixed up like that? So anyway, this girl was just highly criticized by her family, but it was all because they knew that she was very gifted, very special, just a very sweet soul, good person, solid person. But people just used to fuck with her all the time. And you know, especially when you're young and impressionable, that really messes with your self esteem. It truly messes with your self esteem. And look, when I said that these two cards came out, fucked up over you and feminine. And I'm talking about a feminine, a divine feminine actually, who grew up on a damn farm. And yeah, your spirit team said, oh, but don't worry, because they getting fucked up. They getting fucked up. No worries. watching you from secret accounts, trying to create a narrative about you. Honey, when you talk about experiencing all kinds of damn financial problems, oh my lord. For some of y'all, this was a divine masculine that was, trying to mess with you. For some of y'all, this is you and your divine masculine coming together. The masculine and feminine being balanced. For some of y'all, it's gonna mean that these people I was talking about is being brought to justice. Whether that be spiritual or real court. Yeah. Turning your back on anything and everything that does not serve you. Well, it looks like this divine union's coming on together. I said divine unions cannot be stopped. They just can't. There's nothing that can stop it. There's some people that are dealing with alcohol and substance. I mean, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be just kind of, substance abuse of some kind, trying to cope. Yeah, look, I said substance abuse of some kind, trying to cope. And it could be this type of addiction as well. But a sex addiction is also connected to trying to cope with something. Hey, officially, Callie. He said, thank you. I was going to ask about him too. Oh, Lord, I'm telling your story. Yep, here we go. Closing the cycle. So, illumination, awakening to who people really are, who you really are. And like how they said taking a bite out of the apple makes people aware of good and evil. It makes them aware that they're naked and all that. But this says closing a cycle. So I would say reversing the curse of Adam and Eve. And I would have to deep dive into that a little bit further because that's a pretty deep concept. And yeah, that's a deep concept. Um, and these have to do with sinning. That's what, Christians consider sinning. And we talking about the sin of Adam and Eve and closing that cycle. So the story goes that they became aware of good and evil. They became aware that they were human and not spiritual. You said I jump off for a second, and what did you say? Because he bit the apple. Oh, I was talking about like Spirit was saying, was talking about Adam and Eve and closing the cycle of like the Adam and Eve concept. And I was just saying that, you know, if Adam and Eve are metaphorically our fall from grace, then closing that cycle is basically returning us to glory or returning us to like heaven on earth. And that's only for some people, not everybody. So the other people who are going to be left in that other energy of the unclosed cycle are going to be experiencing all of this shit right here. Pretty much the same stuff that we're dealing with right now. I mean, hell. And I said hell for a reason because that is pretty much hell. So restoring certain people to their original state, which was fully knowing that you were a supernatural spiritual being. And I feel like what Spirit is saying is that the Adam and Eve metaphor was the veil that was created for this realm to separate the realms. And the veil basically blocks you from, you know, being able to experience heaven on earth. And you're forced to like basically focus on your earthly body, your earthly existence until you're able to see beyond the veil. But you have to be in a position where you're doing the work and you're making the efforts toward um, getting to that point of enlightenment. But Spirit is basically saying either you're there, fire signs, or you're about to be. Let me look at these. So I'm getting the energy of somebody definitely with some imposter syndrome because Spirit is basically saying that this person is very talented and gifted and has a lot of potential, but they do a lot of like being in their head, analysis paralysis, downplaying their gifts, downplaying their abilities. Um, you know, like is somebody who, I don't know if I want to use the term never satisfied, but that's kind of the energy where it's like, um, or is it never satisfied, or is it just like it's like trying to dumb yourself down because maybe people, a lot of people were jealous of you when you were younger, and so trying to dumb yourself down over the years has created this imposter syndrome. And so spirit is like, it wasn't because you didn't know you were powerful. It wasn't because you didn't know that you had these gifts. You've known that you were gifted from when you were a child. But I feel like you did a lot of dismissing the signs. But at any rate, you have known that you were very powerful. You have known that you were here for a higher calling since you were very young. Thank you for the likes. And you're definitely going to have to be a major world leader. I'm hearing this is not something for the faint of heart. So this is something that you've been training for, you've been preparing for throughout your life. Because you have to be in a position where you can withstand a lot of criticism and it not, you know, set you back 50 years or whatever. And I think that's whoever I'm talking to, I think that's why you had to endure so much from like interpersonal relationships. Because when people or when someone ends up having, you know, like a pretty significant platform, they have to be able to withstand a lot of bullshit, a lot of criticism, a lot of people coming at them from different angles, and be able to not let that shit move you off of your square. You said, I don't know why I can't relate. Oh, child, I can too. But it's really a horrible existence. I love you in the reverse. So I feel like that could be like a family member, an ex. Yeah, we have romance. I feel like this person is going to want a family with you, romance. And a family doesn't necessarily have to mean, it doesn't have to mean having more children or anything like that. It's just the two of y'all being a family and rocking out together. And this person who decided not to tell you how they really felt, that's why the I love you spirit said the I love you is in reverse, because this person didn't, this person never told you how they really felt. And so, like, they all bunched up, balled up, because they feel like they gonna lose you to this divine union and romance that they didn't want to give you. You know, romance can come in so many different forms. It doesn't have to cost a lot. I'm actually more impressed by someone's being imaginative in their creativity and coming up with something that's really romantic and creative, and it didn't have to cost a lot of money. That's dope. That takes talent. And that means that, to me, that means that the person actually took time to think about, plan out, strategize, like that shit. Man, let somebody do that to me. And it's gonna be an issue in the best way possible. Yeah, this person left you hanging and now they can't sleep because they mad that they got scared and ran. Yeah, they trying to be fake busy to try to distract themselves from thinking about you and not being able to get over themselves what they didn't do. But you moving on. You are free. You are letting go. You are letting love flow. Okay. Let this person stew in their little juices. Okay. Yeah, they over there under pressure. You said, and letting go of certain chapters. Absolutely. They in their feelings. They all the way in their feelings about this situation. But closing cycle came out again. Spirit said, you done close that cycle of bum ass men or women coming into your life, playing games with you, making you feel confused about where you stand with them, putting you in like third party situations where they're dealing with somebody out of town and they trying to deal with you in town. So they trying to play you because their person is still living out of town. So they don't have access to them as readily as they have access to you. So they out here trying to use you like a damn placeholder and shit. Bruh. And collective, this may be a hard pill to swallow, but I may be talking about your ass using somebody as a damn placeholder. Oh my god. Look, we were talking about this earlier. I miss you. That damn I miss you text. No. I can't help it that you were keeping secrets about how you really felt. At this point, I can't care anymore. Because the thing is, like, I'm going to say the collective. But the thing is that when somebody just disappears and then resurfaces, like, I miss you, you gotta wonder, is it because they tried to deal with somebody else and realized that that wasn't it? And realized that the grass wasn't greener on the other side? And then decide to circle back until that person reaches out to them again? Like, And that's not to y'all collective. That's just to whoever the fuck is in that energy. Hey, Yeshua. You said, I got one of those texts recently, entertained it, wrong answer, not going that way again. Yeah, I feel you. They wish. Spirit said, I wish it would. Because, like I said, I be talking to Walking Karma. So, they can play all these games all they want to, but I promise you, they gonna wish that they hadn't. Ashamed. Yeah, when you mess with a divine being and you find out who you was really fucking with, you are most definitely gonna be ashamed. Like, it's gonna be worse than that. People gonna be shitting on themselves. You said she's talking about God chastised her. Hold on. Yeah. Right. And some of y'all will be having a family, an actual family, a love child. Isn't the term love child? I think the term love child is 1010 here. It's no. Get down. Ani. Get down. Why would y'all do that? Get down. I think a love child is the result of an affair. Stop. Get down. A child born to parents who are not married to each other, especially one born as the result of a brief or illicit affair. So somebody's been creeping, and it might be the masculine in the relationship. I mean, I guess, well, a woman can have a love child too. Sure can. Oh, this might be the actual love child, and the husband thinks that's his child. Oh, Lord. Who the hell watching this live that I'm picking up on this crazy ass energy? Child, somebody out here living a whole ass life married. And what the funny part is, that baby does not look like the daddy. You see how that baby got blonde hair? Oh my Lord. Spirit, you are funny. So apparently you caught this person cheating based on the GPS. Or maybe you had like the person's phone linked to your phone so you could watch where they were. Oh hell. Massive regrets and feeling like shit. So yeah, this person got caught or is about to get caught. Thank the Most High. I've been single since 2021. Haven't been with a woman physically since. Those cards ain't my energy. Yeah, somebody dealing with some BS. You hear me? And it's a feminine. So I guess it is the feminine that had this love child. Damn. The feminine had this love child and is having massive regrets, feeling like shit. Because she legitimately has her husband thinking that's his son. So if she hasn't gotten caught already, she about to get caught. And look, off and on again, hot and cold, detached. hmm That's what I was saying. That on and off again, hot and cold, detached. That person that was trying to use you or whoever as a placeholder. And really low key, that's what could have happened is that this woman that was married was using or she doesn't have to be married, but was using this other person as a placeholder, but ended up getting pregnant. Like, come on now. If you using a person as a like a just a side piece, placeholder, whatever, bruh. Round and round, cycles, triggers, lessons. That's a hard ass lesson. I mean, how do you deal with yourself knowing that you lied and said that that child was your husband's and it ain't? Okay. Oh, what happened? Yeah, somebody is messy. Thank you for the follow. I didn't mean to hit that. But yeah, somebody real messy. And we got side hustle, but this person's side, so this they could have met the person on their side hustle. But side hustle is, that could also mean side person. Um, yeah, the wife could have actually had a sex addiction, and it really may not have even been that she was really, because when you have any kind of addiction, your brain is altered, and so you end up believing or like being convinced that you have to have a certain thing. And so when you have like that kind of addiction, you just out here like knocking them down. And it's very difficult to deal with that and be in a monogamous relationship or marriage. And so, unfortunately, in some people's timelines, there's gonna be one of these, because that's what episodes of Snap and damn Dateline are made of. Because yeah, somebody is going to get a damn message, and their person is gonna see it come across the damn phone. That's crazy. You said that Terry would really love me. We were together for 6 years. I really Don't do free questions, but I am thinking about doing like one day like free question Friday or something like that. But I just haven't decided. Um, but you could do a question for 11:11 if you're interested. You can pay for a reading. Let me know if that's something you want to do. Yeah, I have Cash App. It's the same as my name on here, Return of DJ EDI. And so a question is 11:11, or a mini, then like a regular reading is 22:22, and extended is 33:33. So if you just have a question and you want to do 11:11, you can do that. Oh, you're welcome. You said, well, Bad Bunny is performing his song Blackout for the Super Bowl tomorrow. Should be very interesting. Yeah, I would think it's gonna be just as controversial as Kendrick Lamar, for sure. I'm really just surprised at the fact that they're allowing it to happen. I am totally shocked and amazed. Alright, so Spirit, what does the collective need to know before I get off of here? Down, mama. Down, down, down. I feel like Spirit is saying that you're in alignment with your highest timeline. You are an ancient being. Egypt is significant. I'm hearing Egyptologist, so you may have been like an Egyptologist in one of your lifetimes. Um, if you are interested in history, if you're interested in archaeology, if you're interested in like, geography and all that stuff, I may just be talking to you. And I'm hearing you could even just work for a museum. And like we design our lives so that everything we do pretty much is a reminder or like helps to trigger our memory of who we are. And so if you have something that you've always been drawn to, whether it's law or science or medicine or whatever, that's something that you have done in many lifetimes. Because it's one thing to be guided in a direction of a career, but it's another thing to like absolutely love what you do. Ancient Being came out, so that's confirmation. Spirit said, "You mind the business that pays you. Good job." You embody unconditional love. There is a a time and place to be ratchet. That came out again. That's for somebody else. That's not the collector. And Earth sign came out. So the Earth sign could be significant, but Earth signs are not ratchet. So I mean, maybe just a little bit, but not really. So you are the wish fulfillment, and you are the spell. And Spirit said there's some people whose soul contracts are under review and they cannot go with you. They cannot. Because they were out here being jealous and competitive and doing dumb shit and being ratchet. And Spirit said, they can't go with you. Spirit said your body is beautiful. So if you have some insecurities about your body, you need to know, and your person thinks that your body is beautiful. You embody true authenticity. What I say on your highest timeline. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's why people be trying to play in your face, because they take your kindness for weakness and look at you like a damn punk. I was thinking to myself in my head that some people, I was saying some people like drama. I should have just said it. Look, drama free. I promise you, I was thinking some people like drama. And you staying drama free. You like, I ain't got time for that shit. Cause these other people whose soul contracts are under review, they worried, they got anxiety. Because their gifts are strong enough for them to be able to know what's going on. That's the gift and the curse. Because if you're just out here doing dumb shit and you oblivious and don't know what's really going on, then, ignorance is bliss to a degree. And we got your patience is paying off. As a result, you will have new opportunities. They're mad at you because they got caught coming against you. Now, if that ain't lunacy, I don't know what is. Your glow up is undeniable. The glow up is going to be absolutely immaculate. It's going to be a beautiful thing. It really is. Mm, mm, mm. That glow up is gonna be something special. Okay, you better receive it, honey. So, Spirit is basically saying that these people were trying to keep you in poverty and didn't want you progressing forward. And it's in the reverse because this shit was returned to sender immediately, while it's bringing you unexpected income and making you the privileged lady. So that shit done backfired immensely. And you getting sudden wealth. They having a sudden loss of wealth while you are getting sudden wealth and unexpected income. And now they all full of anxiety because they know their soul contract is under review. Yeah, they super concerned now. And especially because this should be in a lot of collective messages. And especially if the reader is reading their own energy and basically calling the people that's against them out as well. So, you know, they getting all these messages of concern, trying to watch you do your readings and shit, trying to figure out what's going on with you based on your collective, but they actually finding out what's going on with them based on your collective. That's bananas. Bananas. I'm gonna pull from this deck and then I'm gonna wrap it up. What does the collective need to know from the ancestors? From the ancestral realm. So the first card out, let go the need to be right. As summer is significant, bees are significant, honey is significant, putting some sweetness in your life. And what was I talking about at the beginning of the live? Talking about the energy that surrounds us. And it says, surround yourself with protective energy. And that's what I mean. That energy just be swirling around us. And when you, like Spirit is saying, when you live on an abundant timeline, abundance surrounds you. Embrace the energy of peace. This is more confirmation of the channel message. Damn. And I was talking about how these spiritualists or seers or traders, straight the ops. It just won't work. It really won't work. Good. So collective, you are fully protected. Fully protected. You don't have to do anything but write down what you want your life to look like. Why? Because you shine bright. You're meant for the spotlight. I sure do need to go to bed, honey. The spring is significant. I was talking about growing seeds earlier. So yeah. Stand your ground. That's why I said that card came out earlier. Don't judge a book by its cover. I was talking about people took your kindness for weakness and would play in your face like you was a damn punk and thought that you were just so nice and sweet and all love and light. That shit can be unleashed at a moment's notice. Okay. And I'm not talking about any harm on anyone. I'm not wishing harm on anyone. But, sometimes you just have to respond to certain situations. And people thought you were a damn punk. And that could not have been farther from the truth. Because I'm one of those people, I've been through so much in my life. I like my peace, but we can go toe to toe if necessary. And that's not even just like on some physical, nothing. Spirit is so proud of you. And again, passing all your tests with flying colors. So, and this is a message for anybody that's in school. Like, if you feel like you aren't doing that well in school or something's going on with a particular class, the Spirit is going to work it out. And their Spirit is going to take care of that teacher that was on some bullshit. And don't let anyone break your spirit. Don't let anyone try to make you feel less than. Don't let anybody just, steal your joy. Okay? So I will see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Bye for now.